explain about Islamic social finance. Social finance is an approach taken in investigating and managing a particular fund with the aim of finding a solution to the societal challenges. Islamic finance as structuring financial instruments and financial transactions to satisfy traditional Muslim structures against the payment of interest and engaging in gambling. While Islamic social finance thus is a reference to the provision of financial services to the vulnerable members of the society to accomplish socio-economic welfare. It encompasses three main sectors, which are zakat or sadaqah, waqaf, and lastly is Islamic microfinance. Now I will explain about the development of Islamic bank in Sudan. The first Islamic bank in the North American region was in Sudan. Faisal Islamic Bank Sudan was established in 1977. The government of Sudan passed the Islamic Sharia Banking Act in 1984, which required the whole banking and finance sector of Sudan to be transformed into Islamic lines by duly political and economic turmoil in the country. However, it was prevented by Islamic banking finance from growing and prospering. Since January 2005, Islamic banking finance practice have been revived in Sudan under the dual banking system. Now, there are 4 Islamic banks in northern Sudan.
Next, I will present on the implementation of Islamic social finance in Sudan. Islamic finance is one of the most important unconventional lending channels used by Islamic financial organizations to alleviate the harmful effects of extreme poverty and unemployment among Muslims. The Bank of Sudan formalized Islamic banking in 1994, and since 1989, the Islamic financial system has grown and improved dramatically. The government switched from the dual economic system to an Islamic banking system. This project has enhanced Islamic financial infrastructure and created an environment conducive to Islamic microfinance. The Central Bank of Sudan, CBOS, took the lead in defining a vision for the development and expansion of Sudan's Islamic finance sector. In order to grow financial resources, the vision outlined the requirements for a regulatory framework, including minimum capital requirements, capital adequacy, and loan provisioning. Sudanese banks have followed Islamic principle and restrict the use of interest rate in all financial transactions. Mudarabah, passive partnership, musyarakah, active partnership, murabaha, sale contract at a profit markup, and salam forward sale contract are the main bank's financing modalities in the remaining areas of the country in the north. Northern Sudan banks employ both fixed return modes like murabaha and leasing and variable return modes like mudarabah and musyarakah when using these financial forms for income production. In comparison to murabaha financing, which has the lion's share of overall finance resources, the share of profit sharing modes in total financing is given by Northern Sudan Bank is quite tiny. Sudan Islamic Finance Approach has been defined by the Consultative Group to Assist the Poor, CGAP, as a laboratory for Islamic finance delivery where developments could offer insight on effective Islamic finance practice. Through the use of murabaha, mudarabah, musyarakah and ijarah, the method was able to reduce the amount of time spent dealing with riba to some level. Next, I will pass to the next presenter.
Next, we move to discussion on zakat in Sudan. Zakat is an Islamic term used to refer to a religious responsibility for Muslims who meet certain criteria to donate a portion of their wealth to charitable purpose each year. For Muslims, it is an obligation. The standard minimum amount for zakat is 2.5% of a Muslim's savings and wealth, or 1/4 of their total savings and wealth. It is mandatory in 6 Muslim majority countries, which are Malaysia, Pakistan, Libya, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, and Yemen. Sudan is considered a low, food and secure country. Lantive, political and socio-cultural marginalization have all played a role in internal turmoil. Sudan separation from its south part has a significant economic impact on Sudan. Many displaced families struggle to meet basic requirements such as shelter, food, and healthcare. Zakat funds account for more than 80% of state intervention in Sudanese poor household. Zakat is semi-autonomous body tasked with supporting financially underprivileged homes and individuals. The organization military leadership limits the capacity of non-governmental organizations to operate freely. Sudan made zakat collection mandatory in 1984. Both the Constitution 1998 and the Transitional Constitution 2005 recognize state authority to implement zakat. The zakat system is implemented by the Zakat Bureau, which is part of the Ministry of Guidance and Direction. Sudan Zakat Chamber is guided by the Zakat Act 2001, such as zakat collection method. The Zakat Chamber is a semi-autonomous federal institution with a paid workforce and volunteers dedicated to zakat collecting and distribution. They provide social security through cash payments and other benefits. In 2017, 71% of the Sudanese zakat funds was going to the poor and the needy. Zakat is a government-backed program that provides social security, health and educational service to the poor and needy. Zakat also supports women's and young people capacity development centers in Sudan. They also support small and micro enterprise business projects such as technical and administrative trainings.
I will explain about the current issues about zakat in Sudan. First issue is about the Zakat Chamber managerial issue. In 2020, there was a news release on one of Sudanese news and information broadcaster with the title of Sudan government to purge Zakat Chamber of corruption. The Sudanese administration plans to clean up the Zakat Chamber of corruption because during the former administration, the Zakat Chamber distributed most of the funds to government affiliates and associated political parties and not given the funds to the main target population that in need of the assistance. Therefore, some Islamic experts have recommended that in order to improve Sudan's current zakat system, the Zakat Chamber should address managerial concerns such as integrity and transparency. Next issue is zakat distribution. Due to Sudan's vast territory, it has posed an issue where it is difficult to identify who is eligible to receive zakat, especially in areas affected by instability and where the population is nomadic. The poverty seems to be deeply entrenched in the rural areas of Sudan. It might be happen because of unequal distribution in economic growth, with severe inequalities such as distribution of zakat. Therefore, zakat need to play an essential part of providing financial assistance to Sudan's financially vulnerable populations. Lastly, the issue is the efficiency of zakat administration. In order to optimize the effectiveness and management of zakat, they have been forced to develop an appropriate standard. They had used the standard quality management system such as QMS MS 1900, but it has many flaws such as lack of feedback and complaint mechanism for their safeguarding the continuous improvement process. As a result, they tried to implement other standards after that, but still they do not have a fixed implement standard that can be used as a reference point to assess the efficiency of zakat operations and activities until now.
Now it's my turn to explain about challenges of Islamic social finance, specifically in terms of zakat in Sudan. In Sudan, zakat has played a vital role in alleviating poverty. As the main source of targeted social safety net interventions, it funds 87% of the Sudanese government's social safety net intervention, targeting poor and financially vulnerable households. However, there are several critical challenges to optimizing zakat collection in Sudan. A challenge that persists across all categories of zakat is identified as lack of public awareness of the mandatory nature as well as the rules of zakat. The challenges to optimize zakat collection in Sudan can be seen in terms of livestock, crops, mining, trade and commerce, and miscellaneous. The first challenge that we can see is in terms of livestock. Livestock contributes significantly to the GDP of Sudan. However, it only provides 7% of total zakat in Sudan. One of the main reasons is the prevalent insecurity in these areas with vast animal herds. This makes it extremely difficult to keep track of the livestock and subject them to zakat. The second challenge is in terms of crops. The proportion of zakat from crops has varied greatly, which is between 30 until 50%. However, some major challenges remain, including the expense of monitoring is fairly significant. It is extremely difficult difficult to monitor all production since large tracts of land are difficult to reach. For mining, majority of the zakatable wealth in Sudan comes from gold mining. The major problem areas in zakat collection from gold are families own a significant amount of gold, and the zakat collection apparatus does not have complete control over the gold production process. The next challenge we can see is in terms of trade and commerce. Over the last decade, zakat from trade and commerce has been the main source of zakat. However, collection of zakat on business and commerce in Sudan faces many challenges that still need to be addressed, such as the state zakat authority and the banking system are not working together. The Diwan Zakat has very little control over zakatable bank deposits. There is no sharing of information or coordination between the Diwan and the central bank. The last challenge is in terms of miscellaneous. Miscellaneous account for less than 15% of overall zakat. The main cause for this is a lack of ability among the Diwan's staff as well as insufficient methods to monitor and collect various types of wages, salaries and other incomes.
As for the conclusion, zakat has made a significant contribution to poverty reduction in Sudan. However, Sudan still can't escape from the several issues and challenges arises. And we hope that Sudan will continue to be the country that always practice Islamic social finance and expands the zakat efficiency to ease burden of people who in needs.